Kathy, you've been talking and writing a lot about CEO activists. How would you describe these new socially active CEOs?
Well, a CEO today needs to be a visionary leader. He needs to inspire people. He needs to stand up for causes that are meaningful to him and meaningful to his stakeholders. Before, a CEO was just a steward of performance. So things have definitely shifted.
So this seems to call for a new role for public relations and communication strategists, your specialty. So what are you advising your CEO clients on when it makes sense to speak up and take a stand, when it doesn't make sense, and where do you draw the line?
So obviously a CEO cannot speak up on every issue or every topic that comes by that happens to be in the news. That would not be very authentic. You have to pick topics and issues which, first of all, are meaningful to you as an individual. And even if they're controversial and some people in the company or amongst your stakeholders don't agree, they admire the fact that you're speaking out. Take the example of Starbucks, which recently had a problem in their stores and closed the stores for a number of hours in order to sensitize their staff to the proper training. These are things which cost them money, which really were not in their own self-interest necessarily per se. People admired the fact that they took bold action.
What's the playbook, Kathy? I mean, do you have to, as a CEO, reach out to your board of directors? Do they have a role, or is it pretty much your personal call? Does the board have to endorse what you're going to do?
The board has to be informed. Because this topic you pick may indeed cause a lot of reaction and controversy. And let's not forget that the CEO has to communicate with his employees as well when he's taking a public point of view that, again, could stimulate some reaction.
What are your thoughts on how Starbucks handled that whole racial bias issue and the decision by the CEO, Kevin Johnson, to close all of the stores for a day of training? What worked and what didn't work?
Well, I think it was an excellent case history for speaking out very rapidly. This is one of the big problems that people face. They wait until they're sure they know all the facts. Well, news doesn't work that way anymore, and especially when there are social channels. So what they did right was they were very quick to response. And what they did also right was they took action. They didn't just talk about making a change, they didn't just apologize, but they actually said, we're going to do something about it. So you have to do something different that actually makes a mark. And that's really critical in these settings.
This is all new stuff for these CEOs. Is there any role model out there that you see as a person that CEOs can learn from? I mean, somebody who's figured out how to go about this the right way.
I would look to Mark Benioff, CEO of Salesforce. Very early, he took some very public positions. Look at what he did on gender diversity and pay. He announced that he was going to examine where there were pay imbalances and that he would make up the difference. It could have cost him an awful lot, but he made that commitment before he even knew what the cost would be.
Mm-hmm. Do you find that this whole trend of CEO activism is bringing people together, or do you think that it's just creating more biases?
I think it's bringing people together because I think what it does is it reinforces culture. And people have called out how important culture is today. Culture is built around values and a sense of community and a sense of purpose. It's not built around financial results. And so I really believe that it will bring people together in a much more meaningful way and will empower business to do better.